Winning the preseason tournament had given me a bit of breathing room in the budget and also gifted me some grace from the board. However, after selling some players, mainly Jamie Devitt, I had squandered any goodwill. Knowing that I was on a one-year deal, I took all of the goals presented to me by the board as gospel. In order to extend my contract, I needed to hit most if not all of these. There was only one problem. Individually the goals made sense, but collectively the goals made no sense. On one hand, they wanted to end the year with a €10 million profit. On the other hand, they wanted a brand new youth academy that could promote at least 2 players into the starting 11. I knew that hitting both these goals would be almost impossible. So in an attempt to hide some of the financials from the board, I paid the scouts up front, ensuring that even if they were upset about the financial status, the scouts would be paid and there would be no way to cancel the deal. Furthermore, I would add all of our available player assets to the transfer list, letting the board know I was ready to sell any player in order to make the financial goal. Hopefully this illustrated I was serious about the budget goals. The last goal would be for the team to finish in the top 3. This would require me to get almost everything out of the team that we had. We needed to have a great season, and I would need to be a good team leader for that to happen, something I wasn't accustomed to. It was with all this in mind that I woke up a week before our first regular season game to the unfortunate story that quoted sources saying that I had said, quote, "all players on this team are for sale." While that was true, it failed to include the clause that I had added saying all players are available for the right price. This was the story that would hurt the team morale and could lead to the team feeling uneasy about their situation, maybe leading to lower performance. But when I got to practice that day, all seemed normal. No players asked me about it, they just went on about their business. I figured it was because the guys were professional and they knew this was just business, but I wasn't really sure. At practice that day, we worked on a new formation that we were going to roll out for our league games. Turns out the most important thing the preseason tournament had given me wasn't the money, or the cup for that matter, but insight into how the team was playing. The team's biggest weakness was our lack of depth at striker. At striker, we had Cole Stockton, who was a hard-working point man, but behind him we had a young and developing Hallam Hope, who wasn't ready for the starting 11. I decided that it would be best to switch the formation around, so that we only used 1 striker instead of 2, and give us instead of 4 midfielders 5. This failed to hide our second biggest weakness, which was a lack of depth at defense, but that was a problem I would hope to fix with our new youth academy. Going into the season, we had transitioned fully from our normal 4-4-2 to our new 4-2-3-1. This would generate a little concern that our offense would not be as prolific, but I figured these concerns were misplaced, and that with the new formation we would be better on defense, leading to more time with possession, which would lead to the better scoring. Lastly, I was looking to bring in the Bulgarian national player Alexander Tonev. He was currently not signed, which meant we didn't have to pay any transfer fee for him. I'd made some impactful moves, not all of which the board would agree with, and in order to make them happy, I would have to get off to a great winning start. Winning games in the preseason tournament is all well and good, but winning games in league is what counted. Winning games was the way to prove to the board and the fans and everyone that I was the right man for the job.
Hi there everybody, Martin Tyler here, along with the former Arsenal and England striker Alan Smith.
Yeah, you come into ground some days and you do get that buzz of excitement, and I've got it here today, Martin, looking forward to it.
And welcome our visitors, Swindon
Carlisle United in action today against Swindon Town.
Well, I think this is going to be a really intriguing tie, because you've got a couple of sides here, both expecting and hoping to be up the top and gaining automatic promotion come the end of this season. Whether that's accurate or not, I think it probably is, because the 2 good sets of players down there, plenty of talent in the ranks.
So this is how the hosts line up today. 2 banks of 4, 4-4-2.
Yeah, how it always used to be. Don't see it quite so often these days, but that's a classic formation and really capable of causing problems here today.
Number 10, Mickey Adams. And number 13, Jamal Campbell.
Look now at the lineup for the visiting team. And it's come to an end now as the referee blows the whistle for the last time. Put down a marker, I think the expression is, with the first game, and that's what they've done here with a good win.
Yeah, I think any other team watching this will appreciate that they could be quite a force this season, this lot.
What a brilliant performance from this fella.
Well, so often we think of his creative abilities, but a couple of goals here have won the match for his team.
I couldn't expect our team to play that well every game, but getting the season started off on a 6-0 win was as good as I could have asked. We walked in the locker room and I looked around, unable to stop smiling as I felt a huge burden fall off my shoulders. As the guys started to get seated, I would stand up in front of them and say, I really wish all those reporters who had said we wouldn't be able to score as well were here, because I don't know how you guys could have proved them more wrong. You as a team and each of you individually played great, and it paid off. I couldn't be more proud of you. The guys cheered. It's games like this where you guys make me look like a genius. I hope I can return the favor. So go out tonight, have some fun. You all definitely earned it.
Be a chance here. Good vision. Good score! He's tried to hit this one too hard. Oh, it's a tremendous goal. Really getting at the opposition, threading it through. It could be a chance. And this is a goal. That's one from the training ground with the teammate look. And there it is, the goal. Too happy. It's finished here. Well, in cup ties, winning is all that matters, and they have won.
Yeah, they've done the necessary. I think they just about deserved it. It was close at times, but yeah, winners here.
Some final thoughts on one of the better performers today, Alan?
Well, he gave those defenders a torrid time out there. Got the goal, the all-important one, and had loads of chances.
After I finished my speech, I would walk back to my office, followed closely by Danny Granger. He would catch up to me and ask if he could have a word. Of course I responded. We walked in and he closed the door behind him. I figured this would be about him not getting on the starting 11 or not even getting on the pitch off the bench, but to my surprise, he would talk about the players' morale. I just wanted to talk to you about that story the other day where you said we were all for sale. I have heard of it, I would respond. Danny would respond. It's got the boys scared. They think that you are just trying to sell anyone who gets a good price. I sighed. To be honest, Danny, I'm just caught between a rock and a hard place. The board wants to end the year with a €10 million profit, but even with the winnings and the players we already sold, we aren't at enough because they also want me to buy scouts and start a youth academy. So all in all, despite our current income, I'm a bit short. I have to try to find some way to make money, which probably means selling a few more players. Well, Danny would respond, putting everyone on the chopping blocks seems a bit harsh. I responded, the quote's taken out of context. The gist of it was that I was trying to say anyone is available for the right price. I was trying to let our CEO know not to reject any offers just based on player. Danny would respond, well, the story's out now and you need to tell the guys that. I agreed and I told him I'd let them know. We shook hands and walked back into the room. I tried my best to explain what was happening to the boys, but they were still uneasy and worried about their future. It was 2 weeks into the season, and the team was playing phenomenally well. We were undefeated, including winning games and cup matches against Wigan. However, we were still having some issues with bad press. Players were feeding the press quotes. For example, O'Sullivan after a match against Cheltenham said, quote, "We aren't really concerned with teams in League 2. We're looking past them to League 1 and really we're looking for ways to get into the Championship." The week prior, Cole Stockton had said that he, quote, "wants to be the leading scorer this year and next year in League 1, quote. This led the press to blame me for not being a good leader and letting my team lose focus on the task at hand. It didn't look good, and I was trying to get a lid on it, but it's not easy. That was the situation going into my scheduled update with Gavin Klein. I had prepared to talk about the bad press and what was going on, and how I was going to get it under control. I also prepared to talk about how I overpaid scouts up front and how we were going to make the money back by either selling some of the youth players or using them to win games at higher leagues. This was why I was so stunned when he opened up with, The board is worried. We aren't seeing any results from our scouts. I was taken back. Our scouts had only been out looking for a month. It was almost to be expected that they wouldn't have results yet. I gathered myself as best I could. I needed to get better at rolling with the punches. Well, Gavin, the scouts, it just takes time. I mean, we're not looking for cream of the crop players, but we are looking for a certain player with potential. An attitude that fits in with this team. And that takes time. I'm sure if we give the scouts time, they'll come back with results. Gavin would respond. I hope they will, but it's part of my job to keep you updated on the board. Their wants, their wishes. Of course, I replied. Other than that, the board's pretty happy with you. Keep up the winning. The meeting ended with the usual handshakes and smiles. The team had an amazing first month. After our 6-0 victory over Swindon Town, we went on to beat Wigan Athletic in a cup match. The team then went on to claim victories over Cambridge, Cheltenham, Bristol, and Lincoln, only giving up 4 goals in the process. The defense was playing well, the offense was scoring goals. I felt like I could do no wrong. The transfer deadline would come and go without us making a big move. It was to my happy surprise that when I came in the day after the transfer deadline day, I saw I had an email. Cole Stockton had won Player of the Month. I pumped my fist with excitement. He deserved it. He had been playing so well. I called him immediately to congratulate him, and also to warn him, please don't say anything crazy. Which was why I was so sad when later that night I would see a story published about Cole, quoting him as saying, quote, I know coach thinks he can replace the entire starting 11, but I mean to be irreplaceable. It was tame, but I knew it was hurting the team morale even more.
Yeah, you take what you can get, don't you? Because it will be the shoe will be on the other foot at some stage, and they'll be delighted with that.
Well, I think he was the best performer in a good team today.
Good performance from him, and I think that was probably the difference between the two teams.
It's O'Sullivan. Shot on! Big deflection by the defender there, and the goal will stand. Good position, they've worked this attack very well. He's in here. Great goalkeeping. Rose. Wonderful chance! What a lovely death finish that was. Still, as we are, threads it through. Needs to stay cool now. He's put that into his own net.
I walked into my regularly scheduled board update and wondered if this would be a good meeting or a bad one. On one hand, we had yet to lose or even draw a game, and on the other hand, I hadn't got the press under wraps and our financial status was woefully short of where it should be. I would walk in and Gavin would sit me down. He handed me some sheets of paper which detailed the current financial status. Here it comes. Gavin started with, the board is worried that you won't hit your financial goals. According to these recent statements, it looks like we have overpaid on scouting. I looked up from reading the papers. Well, the board did tell me they wanted a new youth academy. They wanted me to start bringing in younger players, and we had to spend to do that. Gavin would respond. It was also your job to hit these budget marks. and I can't imagine how you're going to do that now. The board wants to reiterate that you are on a 1-year deal, and that if you expect to be extended, you need to complete these financial goals. Do that however you want. At this point, it was pretty obvious this meant selling 1, if not 2, players in the second transfer window. I take this goal very seriously, I would respond, and I fully intend to hit it. The meeting would then proceed as usual, and I was glad to get out of there, but now the hard work began.
Keeper's done very well here. Opportunity now. What a fine save. Good vision. Brilliant pass. Can he finish it? Surely. And it's in by the post. Swung in from the corner. Up for grabs here. He's through here. This might be it. That's a wonderful save at full stretch. Very... Gonna try one now. It's noticeable that the home supporters are trying to help. Has to score. Here's a chance.
My second month with the team would continue where the first left off. While the games were getting closer, we had yet to come to a match and not win. That was until we had seen Coventry City. It was our first not win of the year. We drew 1-1. Most of the time that wouldn't be concerned, but I noticed something missing from our team. It was a lack of urgency. Despite my concerns, the team would go back to its winning ways their next 3 games. It was at that time that I would receive an offer for my defensive veteran, Danny Granger. He had been playing well, and he was a good guy to have on the team, but the offer was substantial. I decided that I would call him in. I wanted to lay out the entire situation to him and ask if he wanted to be moved on to a different club, where he would get more playing time. Granger walked into the office and sat down. We made some small talk before I finally said, "Alright, Granger, the reason I brought you in today was because, well, you are aware of the budget. It's pretty tight, and we got an offer for you. A sizable offer, a substantial offer, and one that I would consider. I know that it isn't ideal, but I also know that we have some youth academy wingbacks that are coming up, and they might take your position by the end of the year. So, it's up to you. I'm assuming that you would want to get on the pitch more, and I just can't offer that to you. But I want you to know that you're invaluable to me, and if you wanted to stay, I would completely agree. And even if you go, I want you to know that the moment you hang your boots up and want to become a coach, I want you to call me. I'd love to have you. If you decide to leave, I hope you can come back to us, Granger." Granger struggled with the decision, but finally he agreed. Yeah, I think it would be best if I moved on. Upon announcing that Granger had been sold, the team's morale took a nosedive and led to another slump. We drew against Carlisle Town and Stevenage to end the month. It seemed that we had lost our offensive edge. Unexpectedly, I would receive another email stating that the Bulgarian brute Tonev, a player I had brought in the previous transfer window, had won Player of the Month, making it 2 for 2 Carlisle players. Keeping with the tradition Stockton had set, Tonev would drop a huge bombshell in his speech. Tonev said, "Coach seems to be selling everyone at the right price. If I keep playing like this, my days here are probably numbered." I knew again that this was hurting the team morale, but I just felt like we were so entrenched in this feeling I didn't know how to reverse it. It would eventually lead to an impact on our performance.
pose some danger now. First touch was good, but letting the shot go! Keeper's done very well here. And it's a shot now! Great save! It's a good idea with letting the shot go, and they put away the first goal of the game.
The third month would finally see the wheels start to fall off. The team won its first game but went on to draw the next game and then finally lose to Colchester. It was the team's first slump, and morale was low. We went into our next game against Wickham and lost again. It was after losing to Wickham that Granger would speak up. Granger addressed the team in the dressing room. Guys, we aren't playing well enough. We aren't bringing the energy we need, and it's embarrassing. You guys are pissing away an opportunity. An opportunity to win the title. An opportunity to have a great season. Why? Because of some sense of entitlement? Look, I've been around for a while now, and I know the chances to win these cups are rare. You should cherish this opportunity because they aren't every day. Now, I know a lot of people have been whispering about my transfer, talking about how coach is beaten up on poor Granger. And I want you to know, nothing could be further from the truth. Me and coach mutually agreed that I should leave. In part because I knew my minutes would get decreased, and I just wanted to get on the pitch. He told me as soon as I hang my boots up that he would love to have me back, and you bet I could be back. You guys are a great group of guys. After the speech, I would have a heart-to-heart with the players. I would tell them that we weren't going to make any more transfer moves without talking to the players first. I could tell the message was finally sticking, but I had learned the importance of getting it right the first time. I never wanted the team to feel like they were a bad play away from being traded. I knew I had to get my messaging correct in the future. The team would go on to beat Notts County, Forest Green, and Chesterfield, only giving up one goal in the process. We were back in form. At the end of the month, I would receive another email. Stockton had won Player of the Month. This time, though, his speech would be about how he was happy to win the award and how he was excited to bring it back to the team. The award might have my name on it, but I couldn't do it without the other 10 guys out there. I was proud of Stockton and the entire team. We had been able to ride out some off-the-field issues and keep our form on the pitch.
Big margin of victory. Yeah, they were ruthless actually. Quite often, last 10 or 15, you ease off, but this team didn't.
It was absolutely extraordinary, exceptional, elegant, excellent.
Not many times you'll put in a performance like that. Everything he did came off. It was excellent.
On the attack here, threading it through, must score! He's got his head, shots on here, fantastic save! That's a good idea with the pass. Shot on! Turned away by the goalkeeper spectacularly. Saw the goal and went for it. Should be. Cleverly done. This might be it. It's come off the goalkeepers. That's a very good goal.